Right guys, I'm pretty certain I've found the perfect car to power from disposable vape batteries. Behold, the Reva G-WIZ. Do not try anything I show in this video, obviously. Unfortunately, we seem to live in some crazy dystopia when buying these single-use devices and then chucking them away is completely normalised. Despite them having fully rechargeable lithium-ion cells inside of them, at its peak we were chucking away over 1 million of them per day in the UK. So to raise awareness of this ridiculous source of e-waste, I've been building increasingly larger things using these extracted cells. So we started small with these little power banks. Then we went a bit bigger and made an e-bike battery from them. And finally we've ended up with this massive power wall made from 500 vape cells that's actually powering this workshop right now. And since you lot have been asking for it, I have been crunching the numbers and I am pretty sure we can power a road legal electric vehicle from disposable vape cells. Okay, quick recap. So in the last video, we managed to get our hands on 500 discarded disposable vapes. We took out all of the cells, we tested them all to find the nice healthy ones, and combined them together in these 3D printed modular rows. We then made 14 of these modular rows, put them in series, and ended up with a 50 volt massive battery pack. This thing was an absolute unit, it worked perfectly, it took this whole workshop off grid and even powered my entire house. And honestly, having this power wall already built for us is going to be an absolute godsend. So you might think that we'll need to make a new battery pack completely from scratch to power a car. But if we use the G-WIZ, that won't be the case. Let me explain. So you may have not even heard of the G-WIZ, and this thing is basically a tiny little electric vehicle from the early 2000s, so it was actually way ahead of its time. But it might have been too far ahead of its time, because the early technology in it caused it to be regarded as one of the world's worst cars. So this thing has got an absolutely monstrous 17 horsepower motor. It weighs about 400 kilograms when you've not got any batteries in it. It's got a 0 to 60 in infinity seconds because it tops out at 50 if you're lucky. And somehow they even squeezed 4 seats in here. So why am I using this particular car? Well, technically, there's only 2 things stopping me from using a Tesla or a Porsche, and that is money and my sanity. You see, a standard Tesla Model 3 has a battery capacity of 60 kilowatt hours, which is actually pretty bloody enormous when we compare it to the size of our disposable vape Powerwall battery, which only has 2.5 kilowatt hours. And it took us 500 large disposable vape cells and 6 months of time to make the Powerwall battery pack. So we can confidently say that we would need at least 12,000 vape cells and an extrapolated 12 years for me to make an equivalent Tesla battery pack. But technically we don't have to make the full size battery pack, right? Well, almost all modern EVs have a battery voltage of at least 400 volts, which would be incredibly spooky to build from vape cells. And they also have pretty complex and sophisticated battery management systems. So getting it to work with modern cars would be possible, but not really feasible. And that's where this beautiful vehicle comes in. Because back in the early 2000s, the batteries were crap and electric vehicles were unbelievably simple. So this thing ran from a 48 volt battery pack made from a bunch of lead acid batteries. You know, the type that are super heavy that we use in our combustion engine vehicles. And all these were originally stuffed under the seats down here. And because this thing was made for 48 volt battery packs and the vape Powerwall was 50 volts, I'm pretty sure we can plug it into this thing and it should somewhat blindly accept it. Well, it might not be that simple, but you get the idea. Obviously, we can't really use the pack exactly as it is because we're going to be drawing a hell of a lot of continuous power from this thing and it's probably going to be rattling around a lot. So I think we should get started with whipping up a solid enclosure for it. Right, what do you reckon then, Max?
It's not exactly structurally sound and the electronics are quite exposed. How about a big aluminium box?
Yeah, let's do it. There's no need to reinvent the wheel with this thing. We've just got some big aluminium panels that we're going to weld together and some bolt holes in the side which will hold the vape battery in place. This welder is an absolute bloody monster and draws loads of power, so I'm running it off the grid right now, but I'm convinced the vape Powerwall might be able to power it.
What do you reckon, Max? Yeah, let's give it a go.
In case you didn't see the previous video, we plugged the disposable vape Powerwall into this thing called an inverter. This converts the 48 volt DC into 240 volt AC, which is exactly what a house needs. I've disconnected the workshop from the grid here, and I can flip this switch to feed in power from the inverter. So hopefully we can power the welder with the vape cells.
There we go. Vape power activated.
Ready?
Let's turn her on. There we go. Yeah, turned on. All of vape power.
Oh no. Right, let's lay down some weld.
Let's see if this thing can do it. Oh, that's a lot of power.
What did it draw?
Like 60 amps? Woo! Well, there we go. The vape pack is literally upgrading itself now. look at that. This thing's going to be the Cybertruck of vape batteries, but hopefully a lot more reliable.
So before I get this thing mounted in the enclosure, there is at least one more upgrade that I'd like to do. So I ended up getting bombarded with comments worrying about this thing's safety. And I think that is really fair because these vape cells were definitely not built for the crazy things that we're throwing at them. But I tell you what, I'm actually pretty confident in the safety of this pack. Basically, there's three main reasons why a lithium-ion battery might go up in flames. Number one is physical punches or the cell being crushed. Number two is the cell being overcharged, so the voltage gets too high. And number three is the cell working too hard and getting too hot. We've already tackled all three of these. So we've now got that nice enclosure which is going to keep these cells physically safe. And when we built this thing, we put a battery management system on it, which is going to monitor all the voltages, and it physically won't allow us to overcharge the cells. And then also, we made sure that we put fuses on every single cell in this battery pack. So if we draw too much current or they get short-circuited, before the cells can work so hard that they end up going up in flames, the fuses will pop, meaning that we'll protect the cells from over temperature. But to be absolutely certain, I've got myself a whole bunch of temperature probes, so we can dot these all around the battery pack and we'll know in real time if anything's getting a bit too hot for our liking. So I've whipped up some code on this microcontroller, which will let us plug in a bunch of these probes and read out their temperatures. And yes, it is 4 degrees Celsius in the workshop right now. I've also programmed it to sound a buzzer if any of the temperatures get above 35 degrees, so we'll definitely know if things are getting too toasty. This microcontroller can also be powered via a small external lithium battery, so we can actually have this powered via a separate vape cell too. So I'm just going to give the battery pack a full teardown for these upgrades and to see how well it's held up since the last video. Now we can see that the previous installation wasn't very good and is already peeling up, and also some of the connections are coming loose, so it's certainly time for a bit of a refurb. What I'll do is we'll cover the cells with silicone to help with the vibration and also hopefully properly adhere the new layer of Kapton tape. Then on the bottom bus bar, I'm adding a thermal pad which will be used to stick down this row's temperature probe, so hopefully we'll be able to see the temperature that's being conducted from the cells. And then I'll do this again for the other 13 rows. And just for good measure, I'll be doubling up the insulation this time. Then we connect each row back together in series to add up their individual voltages to get our 50 volt total. And before I get screwing the frames back together, I'll be adding some foam padding just to help support all the rows. Yep, there we are, this insulation is now way more secure. And now I'm going to tap an M6 thread into the extrusion frame so we can bolt it to the enclosure. But of course, it's always inevitable that you'll end up snapping some tap bits. Now we clip back in all of the battery management system cables, and we also add some insulation to the inside of the enclosure because the last thing we want is a short circuit being caused by a loose wire against the enclosure itself. Then the two halves of the battery pack are bolted to the enclosure using an overkill number of bolts. And we add the 125 amp fuse right to the bottom here so that we can swap it out nice and easily if it ends up popping. And then we get the final wires for the battery management system hooked up. Alright, so we've got the battery management system wired up again. Let's just quickly test if it's all working. Yep, here we go. Everything's looking pretty healthy. And yeah, all the cell voltages look fine. Needs a bit of a charge, but apart from that, that is looking absolutely spot on. So now all we need to do is wire up the microcontroller to all the thermo probes, and this absolute monolith of a battery is ready to be put in the car. A quick moment to talk about something really cool. So when it comes to building a project like this, it always boils down to coming up with a bonkers engineering idea and actually making it real. And that's exactly why I've partnered with Anydesk, because they're kicking off their Anydesk Science sponsorship program. They're calling on you lot to submit your wildest engineering and science ideas along with your favourite creator. And Anydesk will come along, they'll bring the funding, they'll work with them to actually bring it to life. Nothing's off the table here as long as you think it's possible. I mean, look what we're trying to pull off. And at the end of the day, this was a suggestion by one of you guys. Think of it how Red Bull sponsors a bunch of extreme sports and funds some insane stunts. Well, that's exactly what Anydesk are doing, except in the space of engineering and science, which I think is pretty bloody sick. You just need to head to anydesk.com/science, suggest your creator and a mental project idea, and Anydesk will look at making it happen. And honestly, their remote desktop app has made this project so much easier. You see, my main CAD workstation is in the office, but I do most of the actual building and designing out here in the workshop. Remote access lets me instantly access the power of my office PC on this weak little laptop out here. Plus I can ping off and monitor my 3D prints from anywhere that's got an internet connection. So head to the description to check out Anydesk Science sponsorship program, and of course to download Anydesk yourself. Now back to the build. Let's have a look at the electronics for the WIZ and see what we need to actually change to get this running. So we can see that we've got the negative and positive power cables from the old batteries, and that actually runs underneath the rear seats. So that means under here is where all of the power electronics live. So let's get these seats taken out and have a look. Alright, so the inside of this car is actually really interesting. So we know that we get our 48 volts from these two wires here, and we can see that we've got the negative here, positive, and the positive goes through this, which is a contactor, which is essentially an electromagnetic switch. So when you turn on the key in the ignition, this contactor closes, allowing the power to flow through here and into this. Now this is called an inverter, and essentially takes our 48 volt DC and turns it into 3-phase AC on these 3 terminals. This flows through here, which go to the motor underneath the car. That's basically it really. So I'm really hoping that when it comes to actually powering the car to drive it, all we need to do is connect the vape battery pack to these 2 lines, and most of the stuff should just work as is. But there also used to be a charger unit here, and that just allowed you to charge the car, you know, from mains. Also, it had a 12 volt DC-DC converter in it, and basically that took in the 48 volts from here and also converted it into a separate 12 volts to power all of the extra stuff, such as your headlights, your windscreen wipers, your horn. So we're gonna need a replacement for that. So I've got myself this, which is a nice little DC-DC converter that takes in 48 volts and outputs 12 volts. So hopefully we can wire this in, we'll get our 12 volts, and then we can power everything else that we need, and everything should be ready to plug it in and go for a drive. So there is something I'm a bit concerned about, and that is that the fuses will probably start popping once the battery pack draws more than 120 amps. But this car is capable of drawing about 350 if you really push it. So if I press the accelerator a bit too hard, it would write off the battery pack and that would be it. So we need to figure out a way to limit the car. Well, luckily for us, the inverter is programmable. So I've whipped up this cable which will let me plug it into a PC. And this car actually has a boost mode, so I'll reprogram this boost profile to instead limit the power for us. So I'm just going to extend the power cables a bit, and then I'm going to add this big circuit breaker, which is going to act as an extra bit of protection just in case anything goes wrong and a short circuit occurs. Right, so I think it's time to finally plug this thing into the car now. Yep, here we are. We can see power being drawn from the battery pack by the car. So everything should theoretically be working now. Yes, right, the hazard's good. Oh yes, look at that. This is a bit dodgy, but shall we see if it moves? So I'm going to take it very easy because we obviously do not have much slag. But if we put it into gear. Yes, this thing actually drives. Yeah, it can reverse as well. Right, let's get this thing put inside of here. So you might be wondering how we actually plan to charge this battery pack. Well, over the last year, I've been building this little thing, which lets us charge e-bikes and e-scooters using standard USB-C fast chargers. And I'm pretty certain it should be compatible with the vape battery pack. So here we've got a standard MacBook charger. And if we plug this in, there we go. Now I've whipped up this little adapter, which lets us plug it straight into the vape battery pack. And there we go, 138 watts of charging. Not bad. So that makes this not only the world's first disposable vape powered car, but the world's first USB-C charged car. Pretty decent. So if you're looking for something like this to charge your e-bike or e-scooter and want to further support the channel, then you can check out my website for it in the description.
Right, so we've towed the car out, and I think it's now time to plug this thing in. Now, if we flip the circuit breaker, car's powered up, contactor closed. I think it's time to take it for a spin. Right, it's certainly a bit cozy now, so let's get the wide angle lens on. So we've got Ely on the camera. You're also ready on the circuit breaker in case anything goes wrong. Hopefully not.
Hopefully not.
But yeah, everything is all powered up. I've got my phone monitoring the battery management system data, and we want to make sure that that doesn't get less than minus 100 amps. So putting it in boost mode, AKA low power mode. Oh, there we go. All right. Look at that, yep, drawing like 1.6 kilowatts-ish. That is all right, isn't it? This is not too bad, you know, so we're going about 15 miles an hour at the moment. drawing 60 amps. In a second, we're going to pull to the side. We're just going to see how the temperature's doing. We are definitely going to be pushing the battery pack to the most it's ever been pushed. So the thing is about this, it's not going to be very fast. I mean, we can draw maybe at most 5 kilowatts. And when you think of it, like Teslas and stuff, they can do 100, 200 kilowatts. But what they can't say is that they're powered by literal recycled electronic cigarette batteries. So I think we've got that on them. I've just booted up our little temperature monitor. Everything's looking good. We're at like 7 or 8 degrees on every row. Going to be taking a good eye on that. Yeah, that's all right. We've got something that's 11 degrees in there, so we're definitely getting some heating going on. I'm pretty happy with that. Before I get a million comments about this, this is fully insured, and the insurance knows completely what I'm doing, but because of that, this project has actually started to get quite expensive. So if you could subscribe, that would be great, because only 1.8% of you who watched the last video subscribed, and it does really help the channel. Tell you what, this is genuinely going faster than I thought it would do. And we've not even like put the accelerator all the way to the floor. I don't want to push my luck just yet. I'm going to capture the dash. Let's see how many beans we can get out of this thing. Yes, 20, 25. I tell you what, it feels so much faster. Sorry, what do you reckon to this car, man?
So this car has impressed me so far. It's got decent suspension. I don't feel much of this potholes. Believe it or not. Believe it or not. We've got clearance issues on the battery pack.
Yeah. Alright, so one thing I've already noticed while driving along is row number 6 has got a significantly lower voltage than all the other rows. And the main issue with that, once row number 6 runs out, even if all the others still have charge, the battery management system is going to see that that cell's gone flat and it's going to cut it all off. So the whole battery life of our battery pack depends on the weakest cell. I'm going to try and get a bit of speed going now. When I put on the brakes, we should actually see a bit of regenerative braking happening. We'll see how fast we can get first. So we're at 30, getting to 35. Okay, I'm going to have to brake. Right, now let's see that. Yes! Look at that! So we're getting 10 amps of regenerative braking. So we're literally recharging our disposable vape batteries using gravity now. Well, using gravity and momentum, I guess. But yeah, this is crazy. This is unbelievable. And I just can't believe this car has just accepted this crazy Frankenstein battery that I've just slapped straight in it. Right, a 40 zone. Now that is more like it.
12 degrees so far.
12 degrees. It's chilling.
Yep. There's nothing hotter than 12 degrees in here.
I bet that none of the 500 people who smoked them vapes ever expected their vapes to be literally powering my house and now powering my car. It's absolutely crazy, isn't it? I kind of want to prove that using the power of disposable vapes, I can do like a pretty standard daily drive. So I reckon I'm going to get some food, maybe do a little bit of a shop, and see where the roads take us. See how many miles we can get out of this thing.
See how much boot space we can really use in here.
Yeah, it's nice and spacious. One thing about this vehicle, isn't it? Here we go. The golden arches. Could I have 2 wrap of the days, please, as a meal with vanilla milkshake?
Thank you, driving to me, please.
Cool, cheers. So there we go, using the power of disposable vapes, you can totally go and grab a bite to eat. I love it how like close you are to like the ceiling. Because if I was like 6 foot, I would literally be like that. Hello. What do you think to the car?
I actually love it.
It's great, isn't it? Right, let me see if I can get a bit closer. Thank you. Why can't I drive? There we go. Hello. Thank you very much. There we go. Absolutely made for it. But yeah, this car is amazing, man. I absolutely love it.
So we're gonna do B&M, get some stuff.
Yeah, so I might like maybe buy some tools or something and see where the road takes us.
Yeah.
Right, could you flip the circuit breaker for me, please, again, sir?
There we go.
Locked and loaded. Yeah, I need some extra storage for the workshop. I'll do the trick. Yeah, there's really no boot space in here, is there? Yep, not going in there either. There we go.
Snug.
Perfect. Yeah, meant to be.
Temperature's looking all right.
It's quite cool that you can see the little hot spots on the
Actual cells, yeah, you can see where the heat's coming. 11 to 13 degrees.
Not bad. 120 amps. Bit of uphill action, 100 amps continuous. Oh, this is risky. Oh, it's struggling. It is certainly struggling. Oh no, I think we're forming a bit of a traffic jam. Yes, here we go, the open roads. Yeah, we've broken 30 miles an hour. 35.
Still at 14 degrees temperature.
Yeah, 90 to 100 amps continuous. From a battery pack from Disposable Vapes, it's something I genuinely thought I would have never been able to build. Although I tell you what, loads of voltage sag.
Yep,
And if that continues, the car is going to run out of battery prematurely. So we're just parked up for a better look at the temperatures. You can certainly see the cells are heating up. So we're at 19 degrees. But I mean, that's still fine. I mean, you'd think if it was just a hot day, that would still be below ambient. Given that we've just been blasting it at like 100 or so amps for 10 minutes or so, I think it's doing really, really well. Come on! I think it's time to see if these wipers work. Yes! Oh man, I love this thing. Right, it's getting kind of dark now, so I think it's time to see how the headlights fare. Now this might draw a bit of extra energy, but it's definitely a necessity. There we go. Negligible energy, that's fine. Only a couple 100 watts. Okay. I'm a bit worried about this hill, guys. Come on, momentum, momentum, momentum. 130. Oh my god.
Was it 130?
130 amps it got to then. Oh man, we're sat at so much energy right now.
112 amps.
This is brutal.
Yeah, this is a big hill.
I'm gonna have to take this extra slow. Oof, that was 150 amps.
Yeah.
Oh my. Right, I've got to be gentle on this throttle. Yeah, battery pack's getting toasty. It's not set off any of my temperature alarms. Luckily we're on the flat now, so we're gonna be taking it easy. So something I've just realised is cell number 12, look at that, 3.2 volts, that is significantly below any of the other cells, and the car is probably going to cut off very, very soon. So we've done a good 17 miles range, which is actually much more than I predicted, but I think we're on our last legs now.
2.98, 2.9, 2.87.
Okay, I think when it gets under that... Oh!
Have we lost power?
Yeah. Yeah, we've completely lost power. Yeah, even the hazards aren't working. G-WIZ to backup car, we've lost power.
Roger that.
Well, there you go. Turns out you absolutely can power your daily drive from free discarded disposable vape batteries. In the end, the battery management system recorded a total capacity of around 2.1 kilowatt hours of energy, which is actually pretty bloody close to the full theoretical 2.5 kilowatt hours. And we managed to squeeze 18 miles out of this thing, and the max temperature we saw on the batteries was 29 degrees. I think we all need a big think as to what we actually classify as waste, because sadly, planned obsolescence is becoming more and more common. But please let me know what you think to this crazy project in the comments, and let us know what you want to see next, especially as we now have a YouTube project car. And of course, it wouldn't be a vape powered car if it didn't have a vape exhaust.